years the law of God I read, and found it sweet, made it my whole delight, and in it grew to such perfection that, ere my age had measured twice 6 years, at our great feast I went into the temple, there to hear the teachers of our law, and to propose what might improve my knowledge or their own, and was admired by all. Yet this not all to which my spirit aspired. Victorious deeds flamed in my heart, heroic acts, one while to rescue Israel from the Roman yoke, then to subdue and quell o'er all the earth brute violence and proud tyrannic power, till truth were freed, and equity restored; yet held it more human, more heavenly, first by winning words to conquer willing hearts, and make persuasion do the work of fear; at last to try, and teaching the erring soul, not wilfully misdoing, but unaware, misled, the stubborn thoughts only to subdue, those growing thoughts my mother soon perceiving, by words at times cast forth, inly rejoiced, and said to me apart, "High are thy thoughts, O son, but nourish them, and let them soar to what heights sacred virtue and true worth can raise them, though above example high, by matchless deeds express thy matchless sire, for know, thou art no son of mortal man, though men esteem thee low of parentage, thy father is the eternal King who rules all heaven and earth, angels and sons of men. A messenger from God foretold thy birth, conceived in me, a virgin, he foretold thou shouldst be great, and sit on David's throne, and of thy kingdom there should be no end. At thy nativity a glorious choir of angels in the fields of Bethlehem sung to shepherds, watching at their folds by night, and told them the Messiah now was born, where they might see him, and to thee they came, directed to the manger where thou layest, for in the inn was left no better room. A star, not seen before, in heaven appearing, guided the wise men thither from the east, to honour thee with incense, myrrh, and gold, by whose bright course led on they found the place, affirming it thy star, new graven in heaven, by which they knew thee, King of Israel, born. Just Simeon and prophetic Anna, warned by vision, found thee in the temple, and spake, before the altar and the vested priest, like things of thee to all that present stood. This, having heart, straight I again revolved the law and prophets, searching what was writ concerning the Messiah to our scribes, known partly, and soon, of whom they spake I am, this chiefly, that my way must lie, through many a hard essay, even to the death, ere I the promised kingdom can attain, or work redemption for mankind, whose sins' full weight must be transferred upon my head. Yet, neither thus disheartened or dismayed, the time prefixed I waited, when behold the Baptist, of whose birth I oft had heard, not knew by sight, now come, who was to come before Messiah, and his way prepare. I, as all others, to his baptism came, which I believed was from above, but he straight knew me, and with loudest voice proclaimed me him, for it was shown him so from heaven, me him whose harbinger he was, and first refused on me his baptism to confer, as much his greater, and was hardly won. But, as I rose out of the laving stream, heaven opened her eternal doors, from whence the Spirit descended on me like a dove, and last, the sum of all, my Father's voice, audibly heard from heaven, pronounced me his beloved Son, in whom alone he was well pleased, by which I knew the time now full, that I no more should live obscure, but openly begin, as best becomes the authority which I derived from heaven. And now by some strong motion I am led into this wilderness, to what intent I learn not yet. Perhaps I need not know, for what concerns my knowledge God reveals. So spake our morning star, then in his rise, and looking round, on every side beheld a pathless desert, dusk with horrid shades, the way he came not having marked returned, was difficult, by human steps untrod, and he still on was led, but with such thoughts accompanied of things past and things to come, lodged in his breast, as well might recommend such solitude, before choicest society. Full 40 days he passed, whether on hills sometimes, anon in shady vale, each night under the covert of some ancient oak or cedar to defend him from the dew, or harboured in one cave, is not revealed, nor tasted human food, nor hunger felt, till those days ended, hungered then at last among the wild beast. They at his sight grew mild, nor sleeping him, nor waking harmed, his walk the fiery serpent fled and noxious worm, the lion and fierce tiger glared aloof, but now an aged man in rural weeds, following, as seemed, the quest of some stray ewe, or withered sticks to gather, which might serve against a winter's day, when winds blow keen, to warn him wet returned from field at eve, he saw approach, who first with curious eye persuaded him, then with words thus uttered spake: "Sir, what ill chance brought thee to this place, so far from path or road of men, who pass in troop or caravan? For single none durst ever who returned, and dropped not here his carcass, pined with hunger and with drought. I ask the rather, the more admire, for that to me thou seemest the man whom late our new baptized prophet at the ford of Jordan honoured so, and called thee Son of God. I saw and heard, for we sometimes who dwell in this wild, constrained by want, come forth to town or village nighest is far, where aught we hear, and curious are to hear what happens new. Fame also finds us out. To whom the Son of God, who brought me hither, will bring me hence, no other guide I seek." "By miracle he may," replied the swain. "What other way I see not, for we here live on tough roots and stubs, to thirst inured, more than the camel, and to drink go far. Men to such misery and hardship born. But if thou be the Son of God, command that out of these hard stones be made thee bread, so shalt thou save thyself, and us relieve with food, whereof we wretched seldom taste." He ended, and the Son of God replied: "Thinkest thou such force in bread? Is it not written, for I discern thee other than thou seemest, man lives not by bread only, but each word proceeding from the mouth of God, who fed our fathers here with manna. In the mount Moses was 40 days, nor eat nor drank, and 40 days Elijah without food wandered this barren waste. The same I now. Why dost thou then suggest to me to distrust knowing who I am, as I know who thou art?" Whom thus answered the arch fiend, now undisguised: "'Tis true, I am that spirit unfortunate, who, leagued with millions more in rash revolt, kept not my happy station, but was driven with them from bliss to the bottomless deep, yet to that hideous place not so confined, by rigour unconniving, but that oft, leaving my dolorous prison, I enjoyed large liberty to round this globe of earth, or range in the air, nor from the heaven of heavens hath he excluded my resort sometimes. I came among the sons of God, when he gave up into my hands Uzzian Job, to prove him, and illustrate his high worth. And when to all his angels he proposed to draw the proud king Ahab into fraud, that he might fall in Ramoth, they demurred. I undertook that office, and the tongues of all his flattering prophets glibbed with lies to his destruction, as I had in charge, for what he bids I do. Though I have lost much lustre of my native brightness, I lost to be beloved of God, I have not lost to love. At least contemplate and admire what I see excellent in good, or fair, or virtuous, I should so have lost all sense. What can be then less in me than desire to see thee and approach thee, whom I know, declared the Son of God, to hear attent thy wisdom, and behold thy godlike deeds? Men generally think me such a foe to all mankind. Why should I? They to me never did wrong or violence. By them I lost not what I lost, rather by them I gained what I have gained, and with them dwell copartner in these regions of the world. If not disposer, lend them oft my aid, of my advice by presages and signs and answers, oracles, portents, and dreams, whereby they may direct their future life. Envy, they say, excites me, thus to gain companions of my misery and woe. At first it may be, but long since with woe nearer acquainted, now I feel by proof, that fellowship in pain divides not smart, nor lightens aught each man's peculiar load. Small consolation then, were man adjoined, this wounds me most. What can it less, that man fallen should be restored, I never more." To whom our Saviour sternly thus replied: "Deservedly thou grievest, composed of lies from the beginning, and in lies wilt end, who boasted release from hell, and leave to come into the heaven of heavens. Thou comest indeed as a poor miserable captive thrall comes to the place where he before had sat among the prime in splendour, now deposed, ejected, emptied, gazed, unpitied, shunned, a spectacle of ruin, or of scorn, to all the host of heaven. The happy place imparts to thee no happiness, no joy. Rather inflames thy torment, representing lost bliss, to thee no more communicable, so never more in hell than when in heaven, but thou art serviceable to heaven's King. Wilt thou impute to a